inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to The Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Pigskin Project. I just want to let everybody know really quick before, obviously, I bring in my co-host all the time at the beginning of the podcast. We're both not really feeling up to speed, so we might have moments to where we have to mute our microphones and stuff so we can, not cough directly into them. I currently have a cough drop in right now. It's pretty disgusting. But anyways, just a little forewarning for the episode. But as of right now, it looks good to where, we look fine right now connection wise. So it shouldn't be like
connection wise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. Lots of stuff happened in terms of, there's a couple big news headlines, stuff like that, and obviously both of our teams lost. But other than that, Ben, less than a week away from Christmas. How you feeling, man?
I don't know. As you mentioned at the top, I'm trying. It's the first week without school and whatnot. Really looking forward to trying to have a nice, relaxing time. But as you said, this the sickness that's going around is really knocking me on my butt. That's for sure. And that Eagles Monday night loss sure as heck didn't help. I'm being dead serious when I say this. I don't think I have ever been more mad about a single loss in my entire life than this one. Right. And Mary, she's not here right now, but she could attest to that. And I don't usually get like this with sports, but I literally was stood up and I threw my phone. I was screaming obscenities. I have not been this mad about a single sport.
I want it to be known, just because my family could be out there watching. I don't remember very clearly if I said any expletives after the Bears game or during the Bears game, but I apologize on behalf of my bad actions because I watched TikTok afterwards and stuff. I tried to stay away from social media and anything regarding the Bears logo at all. But Connor Burns, great guy. Hope to have him on the podcast at some point.
Mm-hmm.
He said something that really stood out to me that I didn't really process in time until he said it. And when he said it, I agreed with it by far. This was the most disappointed I've been since the double doink. You watching Coco Melon or something over there, bro?
No, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. It's all good. Yeah, no, but this is the most disappointed I've been since the double doink. This game was huge.
Gosh.
It was bad, man. The fact that the Bears had this in their hands and literally just dropped the ball. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. I am, but I'm also referring to Darnell Mooney, who, by the way, great guy. I wish him the best. He's not having a great year in Chicago at all. If you're fighting for a contract, you just don't put up the numbers that Darnell Mooney's putting up this year because he's putting up, I want to say it's less than 500 yards easily. But
I don't know about that.
I'm looking up his stats right now. He's got 409 yards. Before this game, he was lower than 400. That's insane for week 15 for somebody who was the wide receiver 1 last year. I'm just saying, you were.
Oh, would you look
at
at that? He's also sick. Sorry.
Oh yeah. At least you could catch a cold, right? Anyways,
not the only thing he can't catch.
Yeah, but we'll get to my team, I'm sure, because I've got a point to make a little bit. However, Ben, I think it's time that we say clearly, and I know this is going to make you a little upset, The Seahawks are good, dude. Like
The
they're
Seahawks
good.
are not. No, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I like the Eagles just played and that was part of the reason why I'm was so upset that I was that they just I love Jalen Hurts, but this was just not his year. There was so many times that he just missed throws, just wide open throws, or tried to take the deep shot when he had someone underneath. And I going into the season, I was high on them, the Seahawks, and I thought they were going to be good. And I think they're okay, but the Eagles 100% just lost the game. The Seahawks didn't win. The Eagles lost. I mean, the big portion of that was James Bradbury. I know it was blowing up, at least on my Twitter, and I don't know how much it was on just NFL Twitter in general. But that final drive that Drew Lock put together with a minute and 56 seconds left in the game, he had to go 92 yards down the field to score and whatnot. He only had one timeout. I felt pretty confident about that. Sure enough, we lost, but all 92 yards was James Bradbury. Every single catch was made by the dude James Bradbury was covering. It's pathetic, and I want him off of my team. He's been trash all year, and when we played the Niners, I wanted it to be and this might be overreaching the audience here, but I have confidence some people in the audience will understand it. But when we were playing the Niners and I said throw James on Debo the entire game, I wanted that to be his Trey Turner standing ovation moment. That's what I wanted it to be. I wanted that to be his standing ovation moment, like it was with Trey Turner. Let's do another one of that with James Bradbury, but it just hasn't clicked. And he's bad, and if he's on the I think he'll be on the roster next year just because of how much money he's making. Yeah. But if he's getting significant playing time next year, it's an issue.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I mean, I remember specifically calling you after the game and being like, what happened? Because I couldn't watch it. I forget what I was doing. I was playing basketball.
Yep.
Yeah, which, by the way, feeling everything after that, it's really hurting right now.
Yeah,
very out of shape. But nah, I mean, dude, I remember calling you and you being like, James Bradbury, that's what happened. I was this guy sucks. Yeah, and I was like, well, it's fine, man. We're both going through it. And hey, I mean, I would say our honorary third member of the Pigskin Project is also going through it because his team won. Dude's rooting against his team. Matt is rooting against the Saints this year because he wants a better draft pick. And to be honest with you, man, it's dude, this was just a bad week all around. My fantasy team barely scored 80 points.
My fantasy team in my other league kind of sucked it up too. I'll tell you this, Ryan. I'll tell you this, Ryan. It's going to haunt me, and you of all people know how I felt about this, man. The Eagles not trading for Jalen Johnson at the deadline for a second-round pick, and James Bradbury is going to haunt me forever. Oh my gosh! I said it at the time. James Bradbury in a second, and most Bear fans were like, "Yeah, we'll take a second for Jalen Johnson," and most Eagles fans were like, "Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't." But I was like.
Was I a second round pick?
You said you'd take a second round pick. You weren't like, yeah, let's do it for a second round pick. But you're like,
then again, he wasn't almost. He would be leading the league in interceptions if he would just hold on to the ball. By the way,
if he knew how to catch a flu.
Yeah, it's insane. Anyways, continue because I've got another event.
It's gonna haunt me, dude. Him and Slay would have been. Him and Slay would have been so good, and it's just a disappointment that.
Yeah. My other point that I wanted to make is regarding fantasy. Let's see. When the last time I got a haircut as a bald man, I'm envious. Kyle Gagliardi coming in. April, I want to say.
I'm
kind of digging it, man. This is the first time
it. I like it.
Yeah. I gotta kind of trim it up, but I kind of need to figure it out. But anyways, no. Trying to talk about, I thought about this podcast a lot before recording it. Clearly, Ben's looking fresh. He is, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit more. I feel like I don't analyze teams as much as I do on the podcast and I do off of it.
Yeah, we do a lot.
So go on with the foosball, he says. I like it too. Anyways, so the Bills, right? They won 31-10 against the Cowboys. Okay. I was playing Josh Allen because I had traded for him at the deadline. Dude threw the ball 15 times and had 7 completions, 1 touchdown on the day. Like, first round of the playoffs, dude, this is not what I need from you. I need you to drop a consistent 20 points. Like, he wasn't necessarily bad. I will say it wasn't horrible. Let me go into it really quick. But it wasn't.
No, but 16. My thing is well, I told you that again. The Cowboys are just going to manage the Cowboys are just going to manage to be the Cowboys. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
But also, like, why have Josh Allen throw the football if you're going to have Mr. James Cook run for 148 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns or whatever it was? I mean, you don't need him to throw for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's just not a need for it at that point. And right now, in terms of like teams like prepping down to make a playoff, like a real playoff push, not fantasy football playoff push, like this is the perfect time to lean in on those running backs. Give your quarterback a little bit of rest. And I bet you guys over the course of the next 3 weeks that we're going to see a lot more of these playoff teams. Yeah, of these just playoff teams in general to lean on these running backs. And I mean, we'll see it, and I'll go into it a little bit for Thursday night game, but it's what you need to do, especially when you have a quarterback that just needs some rest. Just lean on those running backs, and if it's working, why change it?
Looking at the Bills' 3-game stretch, they're playing the Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins. So I think that it's going to be iffy for that last one. Bills are clearly, like you had said, making a run for the playoffs. I think they're going to end up making it. But as you said, I mean, Josh Allen may not be getting enough work because you're going to have guys like James Cook going and going and going for that reason. I could see, the next couple weeks, I definitely am expecting Josh Allen to get more action. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
17 pass attempts is crazy. It's just when James Cook's hot, like as a running backs coach myself, like you ride that train out until it runs off the rails. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's what I've learned, despite the fact that I kind of countered that if Tyler's listening. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, what a crazy week, man. It was really interesting. Let's go ahead and dive into the weekly news here. Texans quarterback CJ Stroud's likely to remain out versus the Browns this week. It's just upsetting at this point just because we both are having so much fun watching CJ Stroud, and who wasn't? Speaking of quarterbacks that won't play, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers was activated off IR but will not play this season. This is strictly just to get him back on the practice field, get him moving again. Nothing really, but like he's 2 to 3, or no, I think he said 3 to 4 weeks out of being fully cleared. And I think this is still an unbelievable recovery.
Absolutely.
I'm just personally upset because I had a futures bet on him winning comeback player of the year. But
well, and he did say on the Pat McAfee podcast today that like he doesn't think he's going to play he basically said he doesn't think he'll play this season. He just said he doesn't want to play unless he's 100%. And like you said, he's not 100% right now. So he didn't outright say he's not going to play this season, but he basically hinted that he wasn't going to play. But like you said, I mean, the fact that like he was even making a push to play like 17 weeks after popping an Achilles is absolutely wild.
It's insane.
Guess ayahuasca is actually doing something.
I will say this. Respect to him for the recovery process.
Yeah.
Dude has to be taking it ridiculously serious. I remember my recovery process and rehab with my knee as I tore my ACL in high school. And it was not something that was very easy on the mental. Takes you out of something that you were very, very used to doing every single day. And, I didn't really think I would say this, but respect to Aaron Rodgers, and that's that.
Clip it. I'm going to go back through and clip it,
Yeah. Panthers released 4-time Pro Bowler linebacker Justin Houston. Wasn't really too sure what he had done to begin with, so it's like big whoop to me. I don't know about you, but Falcons are starting quarterback Taylor Heineke after loss to Panthers. What a meltdown, dude. That's another thing. Fantasy-wise, I started Bijan Robinson. Dude had 4 carries.
Bijan Robinson had the lowest snap count he has the entire season, and it would have been different if this was week 3 or 4, but it is not. It is week 15.
You're fighting for your job as a head coach.
Why? Exactly. Why is Arthur Smith fighting for his life as a job saying, let me just hand it to Tyler Algier? It baffles me.
Yeah. Or Cordero Patterson, who literally last week we were talking about on the podcast, I believe, either on the podcast or off. We were both talking about it at some point. Like, where's Cordero Patterson been? Yeah. And we were like, where's this guy been? He's so much fun to watch. And then you're like, oh, a guy like, a team like the Bears could use him as a returner. And then dude goes and scores a touchdown and stuff. And Bijan gets 4 carries, I think like 3 targets and a fumble. So it's like, dude got barely almost 2 points maybe. Anyways, just ridiculous. Dude's got to get playing time. I mean, this is a headline that I have been waiting to read for weeks. No, almost like a year or 2 on the podcast, just because we've almost been doing this for 2 years now, believe it or not. It's crazy to think about. Anyways, I have been wanting to say this and scream it. Chargers have fired head coach Brandon Staley and general manager Tom Telesco. I mean, Ben, I know you're kind of taking care of yourself there. Round of applause to the Chargers. Congratulations. You finally figured it out. Good. Maybe you'll win a couple games next year. And I will say this. We might get into it later on. I still, Ben and I have talked about it after. I've been teasing him literally the entirety of the college football season, even though I don't think that Harbaugh's leaving anymore.
I don't want to. Oh my gosh, this report made me so mad. I'll let you finish, but
I guess the Chargers are really interested in getting Jim Harbaugh as their next head coach, and that would be amazing. I mean, oh my gosh, that pair between Herbert and Harbaugh. I will say this: good for Herbert. If that happens, good for Herbert. I am rooting for that. Like I said, very closeted Chargers fan. Like, I mean, obviously Bears fan through and through. I got the Chicago flag in the background, but like, I mean, dude, yeah. If it's not the Bears, I'm rooting for the Chargers now, and I want to see Justin Herbert succeed. I mean, dude's come up short. He's like, man, I don't know. Like, he's just as rootable as like Josh Allen to me. I really do like Josh Allen too.
I'm not a fan of Josh Allen, but
I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're around the same type, but I don't know. I want your thoughts on this though, just because we've been like pounding the table for it.
We have been pounding the table, and again, it's a conversation that we've talked so much about to this point. And I know it was something that I said kind of early on in the. I don't want to say early on in the process because we talked about like 4 times before I said enough. But I know I said I'd stop talking about it, but now it's the Chargers and not the Bears, so I feel like I have to come out and say that. The follow-up report to that, like 2 or 3 days later, was the dude who released a report saying that like the Chargers were interested and whatnot. He came out saying he doesn't know if it's like mutual. Like he's like, well, the Chargers have interest in Harbaugh. He's like, I don't know if that goes both ways. He's like, I don't quite know if Harbaugh has interest in the
Was
Chargers.
There a report? Correct me if I'm wrong. It might just be speculation because I'm on Bears Twitter and fake news gets spread out like wildfire. Was there a report saying that if the Harbaugh were to return to the NFL, he wanted it to be for the Bears?
I think there was something about that. I mean, I don't know.
I thought so too.
I thought I saw something about that, but that might have been something that even was like a last year thing. I think that was something that was like a last year cycle because it was still even the Jim Harbaugh last year's not 2 years ago. Yeah, it was Eberflus's cycle. So there was everything that happened like Eberflus's cycle that like if he came out, it'd want to be for the Bears. So I don't know. I really think he's gonna stay, and I'd be really surprised if not. And it's obviously so easy to say this, but Bill Belichick, man, he's he's the clear fit for the Chargers, I think. So we'll see.
It'll be interesting. This last point that I want to talk about, obviously, Bears fan, it's got to be about the Bears. Ben, you had brought it up in the group chat. This is something that I want to talk about not only just because it's the Bears, but because it affects the draft to me. Bears wide receivers are vouching for quarterback Justin Fields when questioned about the potential pick at number 1 overall. DJ Moore's literally come out and said, Justin is better than these two guys. Why do you guys keep coming up to us? Jalen Johnson's like, this is our guy. Everybody in the locker room, except for maybe a couple guys, love Justin Fields. And he's like, and if you're those couple guys, maybe you shouldn't be in the locker room. He was like, not only that, but, another point regarding Jalen Johnson. He said he would love to be a part of the Bears. He said he wants to be a part of the Bears. He said it's going to be something special. It's something he wants to be a part of long term. I think they get it done. But anyways, that's another story for another day. My biggest concern, right, because we've talked about it so much on the podcast regarding the number 1 overall pick, my interest in how much I would want this pick to be traded back, whether it's 1 spot, whether it's 5 spots, it doesn't matter. Like, I want this pick moved. And if you're a player, you want your guy. DJ Moore, I would say this is easily the best quarterback that DJ Moore's played with.
Yeah.
And some could maybe make a argument for like maybe Baker Mayfield, but like that version of Baker Mayfield versus what we're seeing right now and then what we're seeing in Cleveland when he was there, different versions of Baker.
Yeah.
This is easily the best quarterback that DJ Moore's played with, and he's having a career year because of it. So when you look at this, I mean, for me as a player, you're like, sweet, like let's get this guy, secured. Let's make it a point to the front office that this is our guy. And for the team, like that's huge. For the GM's point of view, though, you just ruined, potentially, in my eyes, it could affect it. You just ruined leverage when it comes down to, potentially trading it. Because to me, my thing is like this locker room constantly like, saying like, this is our guy, this is our guy, this is our guy. You get rid of Fields, everything that you had built potentially out the window because all of your locker room, like, what's the word for it? Atmosphere, chemistry? I guess. Chemistry. Thank you. Out the window. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? I mean, do you think it potentially affected it?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I was actually kind of thinking of it from the flip side of everything. It's going to be real awkward for DJ Moore if they draft one of those two guys. Like if they draft a Caleb Williams or Drake May, I guarantee it. A reporter, Fields will be gone, and I guarantee it that like a reporter is going to ask him about that. And how do you answer that if you're DJ Moore? You get like, what are you gonna do? Backtrack on it? And she's like, oh no, I was just saying it because like I was backing up my guy at the time or something.
If I were him in that sense, I would say like, I'm going to do my best to win games for this team with no matter who's here, and I would him and Fields have a great chemistry, and if I were DJ Moore, I wouldn't shoot that down. I wouldn't downplay that at all or anything like that, but I would say, I'm still a member of the Chicago Bears and I am still wanting to win games. Yeah. Because if I'm DJ Moore, winning games is my top priority. He's going to be 26 next year, I believe, right? Like, he hasn't done a lot of winning in his career. No. Like, and he's only got maybe, I don't know, I would say maybe 6 or 7 years, which sounds like a lot of time. But like it's not in the league because like you draft another quarterback to DJ Moore, that's another 2 years of development and progress that you're expecting. Whereas right now, DJ might be seeing a little bit more potential out of Fields to become somebody who could make a playoff appearance.
No, exactly. I mean, and to put time into perspective there, 6 years ago, Carson Wentz was considered an MVP candidate.
Oh,
I mean, that is how much like, and it's just stuff like that. Like 6 years seems like, but it's just I don't know. It is wild. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't think he put himself in a good situation no matter what he said there. And I understand backing up your quarterback and like good for him, but I just think I don't know, man.
I feel like it does more harm than good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I get what he was trying to say, but
It's interesting though. It's definitely it's going to make headlines, no matter who says it.
Yeah.
It's just more awkward for DJ.
Yeah, and we'll get to Fields in the next subject. I have something to say, but
a little side note before we we're about to move on. So I mean you can get this out immediately too. But my thing is like if I'm Jalen Johnson, if I'm gonna sign long term, if you're really behind Fields, how much of that would I put into like contract negotiations in terms of like, hey, if I sign this deal, like I want to know that this is like, like I want to know what's going on. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it does at all. I mean, I think it's just a matter of GM saying you got to trust what we're doing. You're the player, and if you're gonna sign here, you got to trust what we're doing, and that's that. I'd be surprised if what. No, I'd be surprised if anyone like if a player did that outside of like Tom Brady or something, and it worked.
I mean, I don't know. My biggest thing about this whole Fields thing, and we can transition to your, point after this.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing is that Poles has shown every bit of willingness to keep Fields around long term. You know what I mean? Every single draft.
Be here next year.
Oh, I think so, absolutely. And that's a big media point that I hate just because, okay, take away the Claypool trade. What has Poles done? Nothing but good, right? No, he's done
I would say nothing but nothing. I'm going to be honest with you.
If you look at how his rookies are developing, it's great. If you look at how he transformed the defense, it's great. If you look at the payroll, it's great. If you look at the trade, acquisitions that he's gotten in return for that number 1 overall pick, it's pretty good. Like, I think that you've bought yourself a third year.
I think he set up whoever the next GM is going to be very, very well.
That's crazy. I feel like that's not a well. Okay, here's the thing. As a Bears fan, he will be around next year because I know how this works. If Ryan Pace can get that long, which was like 7 years, Poles can get more than 2. Like Poles is doing much better, But what's your Fields point before we move on?
The thing with Fields though is like, and it's obviously, I mean, thank the Lord I'm not a GM. The coaching staff that kind of has to deal with this, but it is so tough to figure out what you're gonna do, man. Because one week he looks so freaking good, and you're like, yep, this guy's it. And then he turns around and has the week he did last week. And don't get me wrong, those interceptions weren't completely on him, and obviously that like the
one
Robert
of them was dropped.
Pass. I know,
like,
and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. And the Robert catch was not like I don't know how you missed that, but overall, I mean, people see those clips and everyone's like, oh, poor Justin Fields. Justin Fields also just didn't have a good game either, though. I mean,
no.
Some of those stats were like completely on like the surrounding talent and whatnot, but like he also had a butt game. He just did not look good, and it's so tough because again, you have this hope that this dude is going to put together these really good games, which he's shown to do. But then he turns around and has these really bad games. I wouldn't say really bad, but has a not so good game like he did against the Browns.
It's really tough for me just because, for one, unless you've got to be elite to perform well in the conditions of the weather that it was, because it was rainy, it was windy, it's ugly.
I mean, look at Dak Prescott; he struggled too, and they played the same in that Bills weather. So.
Right. But then you also look at aspects like there was a Robert Tonyan ball that was like perfectly placed. And if it wasn't a touchdown, it was a huge gain. You know what I mean? There's also several different plays, and it's happened all throughout the season. One of the most frustrating points of the season, it's the fact that Justin Fields is getting hit after he throws the ball like hard and no flags are being called for it.
Happened to Jalen too.
So, like, that's the biggest thing that I'm not even saying, like, Fields should get these calls. My biggest thing is, like, there needs to be some kind of consistency with it because it's so
How is
annoying.
Pat Mahomes getting it called when he's inbounds? But a guy but a guy like Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts are sliding to the ground or something, and their ball's released.
Right.
The player can still hit him 3 steps afterwards. It just doesn't make any sense.
See, my thing is that like me and my dad talked about it because obviously there's fantasy implications too. I started Justin Fields and stuff, and they counted a second interception, and I was like, that's a clear drop. And my dad was like, "Oh man, stat corrections, they'll probably get that later on in the week. Don't even think about it." No, they counted
Nope. If it's an INT,
it.
it's an INT. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep.
Especially right before the buzzer. But anyways, my mom tuning in, my boys. Yes. Before you know what? We'll just go right into the segment. Ben,
Yeah.
check the private chat real quick just to make sure we're on the same page. Other than that,
Yes.
I will announce it right after.
Yep.
I did not do the drop. Here we go.
They say winning isn't everything, and that may be true in some cases. But right now, let's make some money. It's time for Pigskin Payout.
All right, cool. So we're on the same page now, I think, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. So now that my mom's in the chat, I just want everybody to know, do not expect a podcast episode next week. It is Christmas.
Yeah.
I will be out of town. Ben, I don't know what you're doing, but here's the thing.
Nope, I will too.
So my biggest thing is everybody's going to be spending time with their family, and I feel like we deserve it just as much as anybody else does in terms of taking a week off. I mean, you'll still have your sports shows and stuff like that and everything that everybody still tunes into. I'll put a notice on the day of when we would normally do it, but I will be out of town to the point to where I'm not even going to worry about bringing my stuff because it's like it's too much. And I'm seeing some family that I need to see more that I don't really see. And so, Ben, you've been working your tail off at school and everything like that, at work and stuff like that. It's Christmas, man. This is supposed to be probably one of the most stressful times of the year, but also, I mean, this is
spend time with family and
take that weight off your shoulders after you buy all those presents and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
So yeah, of course. I mean, take that time off to yourself. You know what I mean? I personally, I know briefly we've talked about it off camera. We were like, what are we going to do about Christmas? And then we were like, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. I'm making the executive decision. Screw it. We're doing it. So that's all that. But we're going to go ahead and dive right into Pigskin Payout. And as always, Ben's going to be doing Thursday Night Football. But there is a little bit of the wrench in the plans, and I made sure to check in with him in terms of what the plan was in terms of Pigskin Payout. He is still doing Thursday Night Football, which is Saints at Rams. I will be doing games from the Saturday, the Sunday slate, and the Monday slate. They are, I believe, 3 games on Christmas Day. I believe there might be, I think there's one game. Yes, one game Christmas Eve night, but there's a lot of games on Christmas Eve in general. I'm going to be trying to get you guys a little bit more money. I'm feeling very, very good, you know what I mean, about my parlay here. I've got the odds spread out and everything like that. My mom tuning in saying, so proud of you, Ben. Anyways, yes. So, yes, my slate, I guess I'll go ahead and start us off. Ben stepped away for half a second. Like we said, please just give us a few minutes or moments just because we are kind of going through some kind of cold. Hopefully it's all pushed out, by the time, Christmas rolls around and everything like that. So I have picked, 4 games. And I've done 3 over-unders for total points, and 1 is a spread. I'm going under 43.5 total points for Bills and Chargers. That Chargers defense has let up a ton of points, and I think that it's going to kind of slow down a little bit with the Bills, especially because that run game is going to be as dominant as we talked about before. And then we also have the Cardinals and Bears under 43.5. This line's kind of low to me. I'm a little skeptical of it as well, but this is minus 115 odds. The last one was minus 105. I didn't say it, but yes, minus 115 for Cardinals and Bears, under 43.5. This Bears defense is just pretty good. And I'm not going to, say that the Cardinals, defense isn't good. You know what I mean? It's not great, but I will say Bears offense hasn't been very great. So in terms of, where I'm putting my money until they've proven me otherwise, Cardinals and Bears under 43.5. Let's do it. Cowboys plus 1.5 at Dolphins is minus 112. The Cowboys, man, they did not look good against, it was bad. But I think that plus 1.5, I think the Cowboys are going to take this game. I really do. Spoil one of my picks, whatever. I think they'll take it. And I think plus 1.5 for the spread. It's generous. And then Raiders at Chiefs over 41.5. Coach Tyler coming in saying, go Bills. Okay.
All right.
Over 41.5, Raiders at Chiefs. Dude, I mean, we didn't really talk about it all that much in weekly review, but I mean, that Chiefs and Patriots game, that was a pretty good one.
It was way closer than what you would have thought. His turnover issues, man. I don't know what it is this year.
And Travis Kelce was limited. And the biggest thing, me and my family talked about it briefly. One of the things that Bill Belichick was extremely well, good at when it comes to game planning is taking away your number one target. And that's exactly what he did. So, I mean, Chiefs kind of eliminating Travis Kelce out of the picture, and all of a sudden it's not too great of a game from Patrick Mahomes. So you've got Jerick McKinnon throwing just as many passing touchdowns, I believe, on a trick play, but hey, it happened. But yes, so, Raiders and Chiefs over 41.5 points. I think the Raiders offense is kind of picking up a little bit more steam. And who's the backup running back? Zamir White, I believe.
Yeah, Zamir White.
Yeah, he's doing pretty decent. Picking up the slack from Josh Jacobs. I think 41.5, they clear that easy. You take all 4 of these games at the lines that I had chosen and the odds as well. It's plus 1,219 or whatever it is, 1,219, whatever it is. Pretty decent. I mean, I'd throw $5 on it, whatever. So there we go.
Those last two scare me, man. Those last two scare me.
Really?
Yeah, the Chiefs have kind of been so hot and cold this season. You stop it. He has looked good, though. He has looked good. I guess we'll jump right into it. No, the Chiefs haven't looked very good, and as fun of a story Aiden has been, and AC, their interim head coaches, again, there's something to an interim head coach and the culture and whatnot. But that Raiders defense has looked better, like have looked pretty good, and the Chiefs just haven't been quite there. So that one concerns me. And just like you spoiled the pick, I'll spoil my pick. I'm not a fan of that Cowboys one either. And obviously, part of that is me definitely just being a hater and whatnot. But they're gonna find ways to choke it down the season, and they've shown in recent history that they will, and they showed yesterday that they will. And maybe Dak will come out to looking to swing big and whatnot because of that loss. But I mean, the Dolphins are also fighting for playoff position as well. If they win this one, then they pretty much firmly cement themselves as the division winner there, and don't have to worry about that Week 18 game with the Bills. So this is firmly a playoff match for them as well. So that one is also
the number one, by the way, the number 1 seed.
I think they are. Yeah, they are. But again, I mean, we all know how I feel about the Ravens. We'll get there though. I'm not going to just pull another pick, but but those are the two that I'm worried about the most. I like the first two for sure, and I can absolutely see the second two happening. But those are the two that I'm worried about the most.
Okay, what you got for Thursday night?
Yeah, in terms of Thursday night, I got another 4-legger for you guys. Again, these ones are always a little bit harder because I can only do so much with a spread and money line and whatnot. So I have to do a lot more player props. But I have anytime touchdown Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown Alvin Kamara. I have the Rams to cover -4.5 or -4. And then the one that I said I touch on, we got a little bit later. I'm going to have Kyron go over 89.5 yards. Kyron in the last month is getting more rushing attempts and has a higher efficiency and has more yards than any other running back in the NFL, including Christian McCaffrey, including James Cook. He's looking absolutely amazing. And then, like I said, when you have an older quarterback, I love Matt Stafford, but I don't know how many years he has left in the tank, and you see teams trying to push for the playoffs, you're going to lead on these young stud running backs. And they've shown he's done it. He's hit the line every game since he's been back. And then you add on top of the fact that the Saints also lead the league in explosive runs average per game. 15% of every single run that I'm sorry, guys, I'm sick. 15% of every run that happens against the Saints is going to be an explosive run. And that is like significantly higher than pretty much any other defense in the NFL. So again, when you combo how well he's played and how bad the Saints defense looks against the run. That one seems pretty easy, and that's the one I'm worried about the most. But I feel real confident about this one, guys. I'm probably gonna place $5 on this one myself. This is probably one I felt the most confident about since the one that I told you guys about that hit. And this is plus 625, so not as good of odds as Ryan does, but still pretty decent odds.
I like all of those so much because Alvin Kamara is really like the only thing that like scares me. And if it was literally any week other than this week, I would go ahead and say, like, don't take out Calvin Kamara anytime touchdown because it's such a toss-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, Alvin Kamara on a yearly basis always goes off around this time. It doesn't matter what.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and one-up you a little bit. I'm not going to say Alvin Kamara is going to score 1 touchdown. I'm going to say he's going to score 2. And
I wonder
he's
what that
going to
does to
get
the
you – oh, yeah. Just looked at it. Plus 1732, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, $10 wins you 173.27. Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. And then obviously tacking on anytime touchdown score, Kyron Williams in over 89.5. I like that a lot. Anyways, if you want to tail us, do it responsibly. Please don't do anything that, you don't gamble anything that you're not okay with losing.
Exactly.
It's Christmas time. Don't do anything irrational. We're not responsible for anything like that. But we need to go ahead and move on here. We're going to go ahead and move on to Upset Alert.
Just when you thought it was safe to play the underdog, we put you on Upset Alert.
All right. How many games do you have?
I got 4.
Okay, I have 6.
Wow.
Why don't you go ahead and name us off, and then I will tack off how many, of mine you're checking off.
Yep. All right. First one, Bengals versus Steelers. Simply just because the Bengals are riding so high. And then the Steelers, like, I don't know what it is. Like, obviously everyone within this division, hates each other, and it's a bloodbath. Like, whenever
what's up
anyone
with the Mike
in this division,
Tomlin reverse? That's crazy.
Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. This is a joke. We need to put it to rest. It's an absolute joke. But the Bengals versus Steelers, it's a bloodbath. Any single time that any of these teams play each other, especially these ones, more so than any of the other 3 teams. I have Jags versus Bucks. The Bucks have been absolutely on fire. Again, I don't know what it's been about the Jags, but they just have not impressed me. Then one that I kind of already spoiled for myself, and you guys already know the pick for it, Cowboys versus Dolphins. Again, the Cowboys are always going to find a way to ruin their season when it gets important. And again, this Dolphins offense is just so incredibly hard to stop when everyone's clicking on all cylinders. They looked great last week, and they didn't even have the offense, the most likely off. Actually, him and Christian McCaffrey, but one of the best offensive players in the entire league on their team, and they were still looking that good. And then the last one I had was the Ravens versus Niners. This game's gonna be so freaking good, man. And hopefully. I'm going to make time on Christmas to watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
So you checked off 2 of mine.
Okay.
However, so for Upset Alert, we're taking like the general feel, like the consensus feel of like who would be getting upset. So, looking at lines and stuff like that, seeing who's favored by Vegas is what I went ahead and did just to kind of change pace because I know we kind of trade off sometimes. I have Colts and Falcons because the Falcons are favored here. Minshew Mania.
The Falcons are favored. Wow. Okay.
Falcons are favored here. Yeah. So I like the Colts. Jonathan Taylor coming back. The Falcons head coach is a moron. Pretty good. Lions and Vikings. The Lions are favored here. The Vikings put up a pretty decent fight against the Bengals. The Lions are just being the Lions lately. They're just finding ways to kind of fumble a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Commanders and Jets. The Jets are favored here. And I think it's a little interesting. I know, it's crazy. It's a little interesting there. Cardinals and Bears. The Bears are favored here by like heavy favorites, minus 220 odds. You don't see that a lot in the NFL. The Cardinals put up a lot of points against what I would say is the best team in the league, clear cut right now. 49.
And they're 2-3 with Kyler being back, man. Or they've won 2 out of 3 games with Kyler being back.
Exactly, and that's the thing too, man, is that Kyler is probably the most overhated quarterback in the league. Dude is very underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
He could come out to soldier, show out, beat the Bears. Wouldn't be surprised at this point. All my energy was put towards that Browns game, and at this point, I'm just deflated. So whatever. Cowboys and Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored here, not by much though. But I will say the Cowboys. I think are hungry. They have something to prove. I think they could do it. And then Ravens and 49ers. 49ers are favorited, and I think the Ravens could really pull this one off. Lamar Jackson's here in MVP chance right now, man. It's going to be pretty interesting. So, anyways, let's go ahead. I say let's move on. What is it? Week 16 now, I believe, right? Week 16.
Yeah, 16. So. Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
You think you know football? Well, prove it. This is Pigskin Pick'em.
All right, so I almost had an instance like last year where I miscounted all the games. I had to kind of correct it. Going back to the results of when Matt was on the podcast, I had miscounted, so I kind of went back and changed it and everything. Ben, we disagreed on 2 games last week.
Yeah, of course
we tied. Yep. Yeah. So 11-5, not bad, man. Not bad. Good job.
Yeah.
So I think I had you up a little bit more than I originally thought, or if not, I just had the count off. You're only up by 11 games. You're 142 and 79. Yeah. Okay. 142 and 79. I am 131 and 90. So, not my math still might be off there. I think it. No, we're good. Okay. Not really bad or not really good at math here, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. Not doing point totals just because of, kind of getting ready for the holiday season here. So Saints at Rams. Ben, what are you thinking?
Yeah, guys, if I hadn't made it clear, the Rams. If I didn't make it clear within my my pigskin payout, I'm absolutely going the Rams here. I want to throw this out here to you guys as well. Again, Ryan mentioned at the top of the podcast. I'm sure you guys have caught on to it at this point. Again, I'm feeling like dirt, so I'm not going to promise you guys that there is going to be a TikTok video out today or this week. Again, I try to be consistent, at least with these ones. But I can't promise that to you guys this week. We'll see how I'm feeling. That's what I'll tell you guys. But yes,
I'm also going with the Rams. Yeah, me too. Now for the Saturday slate, Bengals and Steelers. Where are you going?
Steelers.
Ooh. Maserati Mitch, baby. Let's go.
Maserati Mitch.
I'm going with the Bengals. I mean.
Oh, wait. Hold on. It is still Maserati Mitch?
Yeah.
Is Kenny out for the season?
I think it's still Money Mitch, right?
Actually, hold on. I don't know why I thought it was Kenny Pickett. If it's Mitch, give me a second.
I thought they were rolling with him anyway.
I don't know. Hold on, guys. Let's move on to the next one, but that pick might change. I thought it was Kenny Pickett.
No, I want to check it too. Because Jamar Chase is out, I think. He's limited. He's limited.
He has an AC joint sprain. And if that is anything over, so this is grade 1, 2, and 3. If it's 1, he'll probably play. But if it's 2 or 3, there's not a shot he is playing.
I'm going.
He was limited. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I'm sorry. They're considering playing him, but it really sounds like it's gonna be Mazda. I thought for some reason, guys, with the sickness,
there are nice Mazdas out there.
Sorry. All right, sure, okay, pal. I'm going with the Bengals, guys. I thought it was Kenny. I thought Kenny was back. My bad.
Bengals, yeah. Anyways, yeah, Bengals, Bills at Chargers. This one's a wash too. We're going Bills.
Yeah, we're both going.
Commanders and Jets.
This one I was surprised that the Jets were considered favorites. I'm going Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going Commanders too. And the big thing is I guess the Jets' offensive line isn't very good, just because they're injured and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I didn't really know that. Ben, I'm desperate, man. You saw me making all those moves in fantasy and everything like that. I'm going to ask your perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I start Breece Hall this week or no? Like,
Breece Hall put up a stinker last week. I'm going to be honest with you.
I know. I had to go through that twice. I had 2 leagues.
But the Commanders have the worst defense in the entire league. Like, which is why this game's going to be fun, because the Jets have the worst offense in the league, and the Commanders have the worst defense in the league. So I don't know. What are your other options?
Let me take a look here. We'll move on for the time being. But Lions and Vikings, I'm going Lions.
I'm going Lions, yeah.
All right. I've got Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Bijan Robinson. Let's see. And then I could move like Ty Chandler to my flex if I really want to, or something like that. But
I know
right
he put
now,
up a stinker, but I would do Bijan and Alvin for sure.
Okay. Do I keep Breece at my flex then?
Well, what are your options in terms of wide receivers at flex?
Keenan Allen, who is likely not to play, but he's questionable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Javonte Williams, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Ty Chandler, and Hunter Henry.
Keep an eye out for Keenan. Obviously, if it's Keenan, you're going to want to put Keenan in there. But then also, like, I don't know. I'm a fan of Calvin still. He can put up those boom weeks. And honestly, with you being as so down bad as you are after week 1,
I need a boom week.
You need to bring on a boom week. I mean, because the worst that's going to happen is he's going to complete, and you're already completed out anyways. Like, you don't need a dude that's going to put up 12 points for you. You're going to need a dude that's going to put up 20 points. Yeah.
Minimum 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, cool. Well, yeah, all right. Browns and Texans. I'm going Browns here.
I'm going Browns. I would have went Texans if CJ was going to play, but it still looks like CJ is not going to. So, yeah, Browns.
Yeah. Packers and Panthers.
I'm going Packers. The Packers are weird, man, because they had a stretch there where they looked like really, really good. Now they've lost 3 straight. And now it looks like they're going to really be fighting for a playoff spot here. And I think because of that, I'm going to go with the Packers. I think Jordan Love has the dog in him.
Same here. Seahawks and Titans. Oh, by the way, the Packers could really screw me over, by the way, and let the Panthers win so the Bears don't get the number 1 overall pick. But anyways, Seahawks and Titans.
Seahawks. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Colts
Ryan, you got to start picking different games, dude.
It's coming. I promise.
I hope so. Colts.
I'm also going Colts. And now for the afternoon slate, Jaguars and Buccaneers.
Bucks.
I'm also going Buccaneers.
Oh, my goodness.
Cowboys and Dolphins.
All right, we'll pick different. So at least we have 2. No, we still only have 1 different. All right, well, I'm going Dolphins.
We don't have any different right now because you changed your pick to the Bengals instead of the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys here. Cardinals and Bears.
I'm going Cardinals.
All right, I'll be a
You
homer.
originally had the
Bears.
Cardinals, but change it to the Bears. You originally had the Cardinals. I know that look. Change it to the Bears. Come on now. Ride with your Bears.
No, I did. Yeah, I know. I hate that. Sunday Night Football. Patriots at Broncos.
Wait, so you riding with the Bears?
Yeah. Bear down.
Yeah. Yes. Broncos.
Playoffs aren't dead. We've got a 2% chance. It's fine. All right, I'm going Broncos. What about you?
Yeah, Broncos.
Raiders and Chiefs. At Arrowhead.
Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The fact that it's at Arrowhead gave it away for me, man. I think that there was a chance that the Raiders might compete. If not,
in the black hole, maybe, but yeah, not at Arrowhead.
Giants and Eagles.
As much as Tommy Cutlets is fun to watch, come on now, guys. All the Eagles got to do is put together a win. We'll talk about something next week that I wanted to dive deeper into this week, but I'm not feeling so good. So we're not going to, but the Eagles.
Okay, I'll go Eagles as well. Ravens at 49ers.
Ravens.
I'm going 49ers. So we are
3 different.
Yeah, there we go. Somebody's gonna win this week.
Someone is gonna add to their lead or cut the lead down.
Yeah,
huge.
All right, cool. And I love it. 3 different. We're going into Ben's College Corner in 3, 2.
No.
Pro football isn't the only game in town. Let's take a stroll to Ben's College Corner.
Guys, there's like, yeah, we talked about it before the podcast started. There's nothing going on like in college football. There was like the early signing period, which happened today. But pretty much outside of that,
briefly about the quarterback situation that we were talking about before the podcast. But like literally like 5-minute segment, just because there's not much to talk about other than that.
There's just not much going on. There's early signing day. If you guys want to know more about that, look into that. But there's just so much going on with that. There's like, 300 recruits that signed. It's just not worth it. The interesting thing is like the number one wide receiver number one player in the country has pretty much been committed to OSU this entire time. But then as of recently, there's been speculation that he's going to like maybe go to FSU or maybe go to Miami. And then he came out today, sure as heck, he, committed to OSU. But he didn't sign his papers.
Oh, no, he will, though. No, I think he did, didn't he?
Mm-mm. He didn't sign his papers.
No. I thought he did mid, press conference.
Maybe it was a fake tweet that I saw, but I saw something that he didn't sign his papers. I could have just been a fake tweet, guys. Again, there's so much going on signing day; it's hard to even cover. So yeah, there's not much going on. But what is this quarterback talk?
So I was going through like film and stuff like that, trying to figure out my top 3. I'm not a big fan of Drake May.
Which is so funny because like 5 weeks ago, you're like, Drake May's better than Caleb Williams.
No, I didn't say that. I was saying I was talking to Tyler, and that's who he wanted. And I was like, I don't know, because I
could understand.
Caleb's clear cut number 1, though. He's going to transform the franchise.
I could understand why some people would put Jalen in front of him. His ability to extend the play is just him and Caleb or him and Drake are just not the same quarterback. So at that point, it's really what you're looking for. But my disagreement was the reason that you said that like was his deep ball. I just unequivocally just disagree. Like I could not disagree with like a comment any more than that comment right there. I'm just there was like plenty. There's probably good like 10 to 15 times on tape. Brian Thomas alone was deep and either like he just completely ducked the throw, like completely overthrew it or underthrew it, or put it in a position where Brian Thomas had to come back and adjust the football to the point where he would have had to have a touchdown, but since he had to slow up or like cut in on like a fade and kind of have to turn it into like a center post or something, to the point where he would have had a touchdown and he just didn't. I think his arm talent is awesome, but I don't think his deep ball accuracy is well enough, especially compared to a guy like Drake May. I mean, Drake May's appeal is the fact that, he is that pocket passer. And like I said, they are two completely different quarterbacks. To the point that like Drake May is going to be your guy that's going to sit back in the pocket and he's going to, find the open guy, hit a nice little deep ball. I would say I like his ability to pass. I think he's a better passer than Jalen Daniels right now. That's just straight up what it is. But Jalen Daniels, I think, has the ability to like extend the play a little bit more. And I think Jalen Daniels has the potential to be just as good of a passer, if not better than Drake May. But currently rocking right now to the NFL, I think Drake May is absolutely the better passer. And I think if you're trying to find like a team that has everything around him, but is just missing the quarterback, Drake May is probably going to be your best bet because he's going to walk in and he's going to have the higher floor. But I think Jane Daniels can have the higher curls.
If you just want to keep calling curls,
without his deep ball, please watch Drake May's deep ball. Like it is
no. You didn't let me finish. You want to keep calling curls and stuff like that so that his first read works and stuff. That's going to work perfectly. And then once you start calling the curls, you're going to throw it all over top, and Drake May can get it there. But I mean, I've seen him like underthrow a couple times, stuff like that too, and like it happens and everything like that. I get it, it's fine. But like, if I'm comparing the two, like I like a lot of what Jaden Daniels has done. I'm
gonna have to break down the tape and I'll have to show you. There's plenty of times on film where you can see Drake May going bam, 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 and works back to the first read and throws it to the first read and whatnot. I think Jaden Daniels Drake May. I think absolutely. I think the issue is Tez Walker's really freaking good, and Tez Walker's the only person you can throw the freaking football to on his team because everyone else sucks. And he's like, oh, let me get it to my best player. just like Justin Field does. It's not a matter of that he can't read the field. It's just a matter of no one
God
else
forbid
is good on the
Fields
field.
actually gets a good or a good wide receiver. Anyways.
Well, exactly, and that's kind of how it is with Drake May. It's not that he can't. It's just there's not really many options for him. So he's just going to give it to Tez Walker. And that's like Tez Walker is probably going to go in the first round. Tez Walker is great. So I don't know.
I'm a big fan. If we're not getting Marvin Harrison Jr., though, I mean,
neighbors.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, all right, cool. It's time.
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
Guys, we haven't played this in a while. I mean, a while. And the last time we did, I closed the gap to 10. I'm only 10 games behind. We might be able to close the gap a little bit more. Ben, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go AJ Brown.
All right, wide receiver in the NFC, shorter than 6'1", a little bit younger. Where are we going with this? Who's a little bit shorter? Who's sick? Okay, I don't know. I don't think DJ Moore. I don't think
DJ Moore's older, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's the same age. All right. See, I was trying to run through my head there, but like I don't know. It can't. It's not
just
JJ.
trying for the height too, because it wasn't going to work with the numbers. But
I think JJ is a little bit taller than 6'6", but it could be wrong.
I think so too. 6 foot
or 6 foot. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra.
Nice. I wish I could close out this diaper ad on the bottom of the screen. Thanks a lot, Will.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Anyways, all right. I'll go first here.
I'm waiting for the day that's actually hits. I'm waiting.
Dude, it was so close that one time too. That it was Justin Jones. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you're the Bears, why are you making your defensive tackle Justin Jones drop into coverage so you can guard David Njoku? And then the one time that Eberflus is like, oh man, I'm going to hold myself accountable and say that that's a bad call. Like, yeah, you don't throw your defensive tackle into coverage, especially when he's going to go out in the media and say, yeah, I don't really practice that, so I don't know what I was doing. Like, unbelievable. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. So based off of oh, goodness. Nakobe Dean.
Okay.
Just type in Dean. Yeah. Oh!
Hold on, let me get rid of this real quick. There we go. All right, NFC East and its defense.
Based off the height, he's probably a safety or corner. Oh,
that's what I was thinking too. Okay.
Cameron Curl.
How do you
just type in, so delete all that and just do KURL. Huh. What? I don't know how to spell Cameron Curl. It's with a K. Oh, other way around. Ah, I knew there was a K someone in there. Oh, this is tragic. Oh. Okay, so he's a
Oh, dude.
Okay.
I thought for sure that was it.
I think this dude is he's definitely too old, but I'm going to do it anyways. Julian Love. Oh, yeah, he was on the Seahawks. He was on the freaking Giants last year. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh, guys. I don't know. In my head, it hurts too much. I'm waving the white flag, man.
Yeah, me too.
All right. If you're waving the white flag, then no, I don't want to see it. If you're waving the white flag, I'll continue guessing. I mean, it's both.
Oh, well, you already waved it. Yeah, I was gonna say nobody's getting a point.
Yeah, no one's getting a point, but I want to guess.
Hold on. Let me see really quick.
I want to be your lover. Because based off the age, I really think that I could get it.
Okay,
but I don't know. I want to be your lover. I want to be your friend.
Wait, hold on a second.
I want to be your
Dude,
lover.
I don't know who this guy is.
What college did he go to?
Let's see. Houston.
Oh, I'm deciding between two guys. Is it when was he drafted?
In the 7th round this year.
This year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Dane Belton, is it?
Nope.
No. The only other guy. Actually, hold on. Okay. Is he starting?
No.
Is it Nick something? Nick something?
Nope.
Okay, that's the only. I just named off
Literally-
like the 4 starting safeties. I just named off like the 4 safeties that I know for the Giants. There's just nothing coming from it.
Literally 5 picks away from being Mr. Irrelevant. Do you want me to just type it in?
Yeah, go for it. Wouldn't have gotten it. Nope.
What?
Okay. Type in
But
my
there's
guys
nobody
now.
else 24.
Type in my guys now. Jason Pinnock.
He doesn't play for them.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yes, he does. I'm sorry.
He's like their other starter.
That might, yeah.
Hey, I was gonna say he's their
I'm
other
sorry.
starting safety. Like that's who I was thinking of.
I was
like-
reading, dude, that's so stupid. I was clicking on the other corner position. Wow. Okay. All right. My bad.
No, I was
Okay.
gonna say he's their other starting safety. He absolutely plays for him.
Nah, because I was clicking on their other starting corner and then I was selecting their strong safety, and then I was like, oh, well, then it has to be this guy. And it's like, I don't know. I was
Well,
like,
the reason I knew it is because I'm so ready for Smitty to run a deep center post on his ass. And just burn it. Sorry for the cursing, guys. It's late.
It's been a long day. Yeah.
So you don't have to ask me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a
Yes.
good Christmas. And yeah.
Yeah. Just responding to the comment that just came in as well. If you would like to be a part of it, any kind of comments, questions, anything like that you would like us to talk about, it's football related, you could put in the comment section and we will make it a point to discuss it. But typically we don't necessarily let guests in unless it's like a predetermined thing that we have already talked about before the recording date. So we don't necessarily let people in on the fly.
Yeah.
So
But if you wanted,
nothing about,
like he said, if you wanted to comment, like we
Yeah.
were totally like happy to. You honestly caught us at the worst time possible.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and 10 minutes in almost, and the podcast is wrapping up. But come back in 2 Wednesdays.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing personal or anything like that. It's
Yes,
just
of
more
course.
so, just how we kind of run things. But anyways, yes. So thank you for, watching and listening to us. If you're on Spotify, follow us on all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. There will be a video put out at some point in time. Not entirely sure when, but there will be at some point. So go in, follow us and everything. Thanks for tuning in, and we want to thank Regional Radio Sports Network. I have a couple games with our boy Vince coming up next month,
Hey,
so
the
looking
voice of the
forward to that.
podcast.
Yeah. Let's see. Uppercuts Grooming and Spotify for Podcasters for helping us grow as a podcast. And until next time, this has been the Pigskin Project.